Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to the Season 1, Episode 4 Evil Laughter Show. Tonight's motto is fake it till you make it. Stay tuned to find out why.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Happy Thursday, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
Hey.
Okay, how are you?
A little terrified, to be honest. I feel like I need to go home and pray after tonight's episode.
The whole time we watched it.
She's not scared. I'm terrified. I'm your host, Carla, and to my left here, I have lover of all things horror. She's obsessed with Halloween, Haley.
What up? Hey, guys.
We have Kaos J. He's been watching horror movies since he was 4 years old. Insane.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is, but then again, I don't know. I feel like I appreciate that my mom got me started early. So, hey, it is what it is. And here I am, Kaos J, back in the flesh. Let's go.
Awesome. And we have Shantiera. Her dad's a pastor. She's super religious. Perfect person to be talking about this episode tonight. Hey.
It's all about balance.
What's up? Right. We're definitely a balanced group here.
Definitely. Today we're going to be talking about Eric, Kristens Girls, David and Kristen, and Kristins Husband. We have a special segment for you, some news and gossip, and we're going to wrap up with some predictions. But before we do all of that, what were some of our overall thoughts?
Okay, this was by far the scariest episode yet. I loved it. You got the two creepy kids. You see Eric warming up to David. It's like, but who doesn't love David? But he also was like using what David was saying, but in like not a good way, by trying to drown his baby sister, which was crazy. But I loved it. I'm here for it.
Definitely. What about you?
Okay. No, I'm not even going to make it that deep. No, I saw, or at least for me, there were a lot of different elements within this episode that reminded me of older, I don't necessarily want to say horror movies, some, but not even really horror movies, just more suspenseful thriller movies, one of those being The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. I don't know for any of my movie buff fans out there that might be up on that one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. There's just a couple little sprinkles of that in there. I thought it was a great episode, and I don't know, I wanted there to be more. Like, I wish TV shows that are on, like CBS, NBC, and all that, I wish they would play around kind of the same way Netflix does, where, one episode might be 34 minutes, the next one might be 43, or the next one might be, 57, or whatever. I want that, because I feel like there was still so much to unpack with this episode.
Gotta get those commercials in.
I get it. They gotta make that revenue, but I'm gonna need some extended episodes.
What about you, Haley? What are some
I
thoughts?
love this episode.
Oh my God, you're insane.
Watching you react to it while we were watching it was so funny because I was loving it.
I'm the most scared person here, just so everybody knows. All right, well, let's just jump right in, everyone. Let's start with Eric. So at the beginning of the episode, we see this little boy who is thought to be possessed. So right from the beginning, my question was, do we think he really was possessed, or do we think the parents got him into believing that he was? Because I feel like all the locks around the house, the way they locked him in the room, the way they acted around him, like they were genuinely afraid of him.
Yeah.
I feel like that would make someone believe what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think they did all that for a reason, because he was trying to poison them. I mean, he bit his sister, probably trying to kill her. So I feel like it was necessary. But to me, to answer your question, I think that he had a demon inside of him. And I think that each episode, I'm feeling more like, okay, something's gonna hit. We're gonna start to see people actually possessed. I think they've been setting us up. So I feel like that we probably would have been able to find out, but unfortunately, he died. I
don't think we know that. I think he might have just ran away. Shantiera, what you talking about, girl?
He ran away.
But did we see anything that demonstrated demonic possession? I don't feel like I saw that.
Me neither. I didn't see that either.
I mean, we didn't, but I feel like a show like this is kind of like you're kind of like left with
to interpret it on your own,
pretty much. And that's kind of what I interpret. I mean, just the way he was acting, I just felt he had like no emotion. He just seemed like he was just very kind of dead inside.
A part of me kind of felt like maybe he was just like a mischievous little boy that like adrenaline. You know what I mean?
Mischievous. There's a difference between mischievous and murderous.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I just think he was a little or a lot psychotic, which happens with some people.
No, I think so too. I mean, as this episode progressed, at first I really thought, okay, maybe this is just a mischievous little boy who's now being believed to have other problems. But as the episode went on, we saw how crazy things got. He tried to drown his little sister, but I genuinely feel like David did not help the situation at all. His advice was awful. Fake it till you make it.
His advice was terrible.
I literally was like, you're teaching this little boy how to act like a normal human while still having really dark thoughts. Like, you're making him more of a psychopath. Do you think his method was a good one?
I didn't. I feel like I agree with you, Haley, that the advice was kind of terrible. I mean, I feel like I get his intentions and his faith, and so I understand that he was trying to, trying to get the boy to think the way he does. Not the boy, Eric. Trying to get him to think the way he does, but I think he just did an awful job with that.
I think it would have been okay if he wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
But even I feel like that for me, the minute he drowned his sister, that was when I was like, okay, so this boy is really off. I mean, his face scared me. And by the way, can I just mention, how did that baby live? Because that baby was underwater for a minute.
They were talking for a minute.
Yeah, they were.
No,
so,
CPR is how he lived.
He was
CPR
already in
and
the water
miracles.
when he got there.
Yeah, he was already in
know.
the. So I'm like, he was in the water. Sorry, this little girl, she was in the water for a long time. So
Also, where did the parents think the baby was?
What I thought about that was that I feel like he started acting so normal that they thought like, oh, we don't have to keep such a close eye on him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's starting to be just the normal little boy, and they were genuinely happy by that. So they're like, okay, we don't need to keep an eye on him all the time now. So they became a little careless, and then the drowning happened. So he played it smart. He did exactly what David told him to do.
We talked about this. I was like, no, something's about to happen. He's not all of a sudden good. He was mowing the lawn. He was setting them up and for them to think that he's changed. And I called it. I'm saying that little boy, Eric looked creepy as hell.
I thought he changed
was scared.
too. I was so disappointed.
You were
I
like,
had to
oh
get
no,
over my whole
he's been
scene.
delivered. What you think?
All right. I need to bring it back because I didn't get to speak on what you said earlier. First off, just jumping into the chat real quick. Shout out to Logan and Bonnie, who's joining us in the live chat. Bonnie was a little freaked out by that Ouija board game, but yeah, she's also happy that Olive survived that attempted drowning. So now, what I wanted to touch on was you said that you felt like that the parents kind of exacerbated his behavior by how they were responding to it, and I actually kind of think that's a pretty good theory, just because kids, as you know, kids really do feel like kids can have all the toys in the world, and however, adults, more so their parents than anything, are the best toys to them because we have all the functions. You know what I'm saying? You can have a toy and it can only be limited with what it can do, but with an adult, you can do this and get this kind of reaction. There's so many different things that they can do, triggers, buttons that they can push to get reactions. So to speak on what you were saying about how they're putting locks on the doors and they're doing all of this, they're kind of, he does one thing and it gets a certain reaction. And again, like I said, some kids thrive off of that. Like, oh, well, what can I do now to get a different reaction? It's like a surprise. You never know what you're going to get. And by them responding the way they are, which makes sense because you got a kid wilding out and you have other children to keep safe, then yes, I can definitely see putting locks on doors and putting restrictions in place. But at the same time, that's giving him a certain amount of control and power over them to see like, oh, okay, if I do this, they'll respond this way, or they're scared of me. And so I definitely feel like that definitely did feed into his behavior and probably just, make it even worse than it really was.
With you saying that, do you think because, I mean, we all know that he had an older sister. So I mean, maybe, so he was the baby. But then when the baby came, Olive, he's no longer the baby. And when David was, I think it was David or Kristen, one of them asked him, did he enjoy biting his sister in the blood? And he was just like, So I mean, do you feel like that
he bit the baby?
No, sorry, he bit his sister.
His older sister.
sister.
Okay.
So I mean, do you feel like that it was more so? I mean, do you still agree that he was trying to maybe act out for attention, or because he just wasn't the baby anymore? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I definitely think, yes, I agree. Well, not agree, but yes, I do agree. If that's your stance, I definitely think that he wants attention, and to us as adults, we don't understand. We're like, why would you want that kind of attention? Like, I don't want, for us, we're like, well, if I want someone's attention, I don't want them to be mad at me to get that attention. But for kids, they just want any kind of attention, especially if he's not getting it because his little sister is kind of taking the spotlight. So I definitely think that, yes, it was for attention. And two, I mean, your man's kept it real. He said, I was watching Steven's Universe. She wouldn't stop talking. And I knew that if she was in pain, she wouldn't talk. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that you should bite your little sister. I'm not saying you should bite your little brother. But I understand what he was saying. And again, for that, taking a step back, that's not really something that's evil in a sense. Now, the fact that he said, yeah, I did it and I liked it, that's a little creepy. But just doing something to get your sister or your brother to leave you alone or stop interrupting something you're doing makes perfect sense.
Can I just mention Logan said Eric was acting like Chucky, and I think that's the funniest thing ever.
No, he was creepy. He
kind of looks like Chucky, too.
He did an amazing job. Like, he's a great actor.
He's a great actor because he
really
looked creepy.
All right,
I'm
everyone. Well, before we move on to our next topic, Haley has a special announcement for everyone.
I just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure you give us that 5-star rating and leave us a comment below. We love to interact with you guys.
Thank you so much. Do you have the shout out for us?
Oh, yes. Okay, so just real quick, we're going to go backwards just a tad bit because I love when you guys, leave comments to let us know what you guys think about these episodes because sometimes we miss things. So I read Nicole. Forgive me for mispronouncing your last name, Nicole Poirier. She had let me know that for starters, that the word Iblis, that we were wondering what that meant, is the Islamic version of Satan.
Oh my God!
I feel like we could definitely look that up.
Knowledge.
That changed a lot
nuggets
for me.
Of knowledge.
The game has changed.
Knowledge bombs. Something.
So I'm gonna try to really just shorten this up. She was basically saying that Sebastian was hacking Byron's speaker, and then maybe Byron pledged his soul to the devil as a prank, and then Byron actually believed his soul to be the devil, and after that, he started interacting with an actual demon through his speaker. And that's why I feel like this boy here, Eric, was possessed. I feel like that each episode, we're going to kind of get a little bit more and more and more. But I was kind of confused. I knew that the IT guy didn't... so I knew the IT guy... I don't think he was messing with him after the fact, but I guess it was hard for me to really think, okay, is it a demon? Is he possessed? Like, I just wasn't really sure. But I appreciate you, Nicole, for letting me know. So, thank you.
Thank you, girl.
Yeah,
You're
thanks.
Amazing.
That is such a game changer for me.
Seriously.
We were so confused last week. Well, on to topic number 2, we have Kristens Girls. So they bother me. I hate to say it. These little girls bother me.
I'm with you.
Tell us how you feel.
They all talk at the same time. Your mom is a single mom. You give her a hard time. Like, come on, please. And then they wear these goggles and they go to the one section of the game that they shouldn't be playing. And it's like, aren't you supposed to be afraid? Were you guys scared of horror things at a young age?
Okay, to be fair, little kids don't think of it as like my mom is like single. They're just gonna be kids. I'm just trying to give them the benefit out of that one. Also, I have the
VR headset.
It's nothing like that. But,
right. I was just going to say, I was waiting for us to get to that part, not to cut you off. But yes, give me one of those headsets. Because that was great.
It looked fun, though. For a second, it looked kind of fun. I want to play this game. Not the Ouija thing, but everything else looked really dope.
I was like, what do kids play with now? Like, I play with Barbies and, like, fake kitchen sets and all these normal things.
Oh, no, they still do.
Are you sure?
No, they still do.
The technology has definitally changed.
It's definitely changed. I think it varies from household to household. Yeah, you've got some kids, they've got all the G-golly whiz-bang gadgets. I know I just threw out a bunch of random terms, but you knew what I meant, though. So, yeah, you've got some that have a bunch of, tablets and phones and this and that. But then you have some kids that, they still do Barbies. Barbies is still making money.
Seriously,
or Mattel anyways. So they still play with dolls and all that stuff. And I'm just speaking from, because I have 2 little girls. So, yeah, kitchen sets, all of that. Still in full effect. Don't even trip. But yeah, I think once they get older, then, they kind of want to play with some cool stuff.
Do you think kids that age should have technology like that?
I'm sorry. Can I get in on that? Can I get it?
You're a parent, not me.
Which sounds so weird still, even though I've been a parent for a couple years. So moving along, I personally haven't been a fan of when people use tablets and technology to pacify their kids. However, I can definitely understand why they do it. I think it's okay in moderation. I read a lot, I research a lot, and they say that it's actually really bad to have, even if they're doing educational stuff, overexposure to games and tablets and watching cartoons actually really, hinders their learning abilities, and it actually thickens some part of the frontal cortex of their brain that inhibits, learning and being able to create different neural pathways to do different things as they continue to develop. So if you ask me, I'm team no electronics except for, here and there on special occasions, and that's kind of low-key what I do anyways.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think so.
I think because of the times everything's so digital, I feel like it's bound to happen. I think that sometimes, those type of games are okay as long as with their age, they need some sort of parental. I can't believe the grandma just gave them that and didn't even, check it out. It's like, come on.
Parenting skills
But
on
here's
her.
the thing. I grew up with tablets and stuff like that too. I had an iPhone when I was 11 years old. So
Yeah, see, no.
Privileged.
Right.
Right? I remember when I got a pager and I was in, and I know I just dated myself right now, but we're not going to go there. But I remember when I got a pager, and I think that was in junior, you could have told me I was not hot. I had the pager, I had the little clear, it was like a translucent yellow case with the little bungee, and you back in the day, you had to wear it on the front so everybody saw what you was rocking with. Oh, you couldn't tell me I wasn't in business, but that was when I was in high school or whatever. So anyways, my whole point is, that was in high school. You 11 with a phone? Times have changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing though, they don't know anything about these games. You can't expect them to.
You talking about the parents?
Yeah, especially the grandma. She doesn't know.
She just knows that the kids like it,
Yeah.
and she's a grandma.
Child blocks. Who thinks of that? She has no idea what that is.
She should.
I mean, I think Kristen does what she can, but she's a single mom. She's smart as hell, but she's always busy. So, I kind of understand how they get a hold of it, and then the mom doesn't help the situation. What's so crazy to me, though, is how just courageous, brave they are. I would never select anything that they did. That Rose character,
The Rose
That was
390.
amazing.
kudos to that girl.
She was creepy. We had 2 creepy kids on this episode, and she freaked me out with the face and the, and even when Ben was saying he's gonna put on the parental control, and she was just like, it won't help, just in that creepy voice, freaked me out.
And then when the Ouija board came out, I was like, oh,
I
get
never
over it.
played with the
I
Ouija
was
board.
on board this whole episode
Look.
until
Until
that
Ouija board.
thing came
Bless
out.
you, child.
And I was
was
like,
like,
okay,
no.
see, y'all doing way too much.
No,
And for me, having seen movies where, they do pull out the Ouija board and, they're doing it, and they're like, oh my goodness, and, they're pretending as if, because they're acting, I'm sorry, as if their hands are being controlled by some spirit, I'm with that. But you virtualizing it, killed it for me. I'm not rolling.
Yeah.
There was no spookiness to it at all.
Should we also? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, should we also mention too that it seemed like that the whatever character that was inside there. I don't know if it was a demon. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like it kind of was messing with Laura a little bit. It was peeking around the corner. So I'm wondering, are they seeing different things with
the child.
I think Laura is, I wouldn't say possessed, but she has a spirit that follows her, is going to be my prediction.
Okay.
Because she's had George, and now
Right.
when she put the virtual glasses on, or whatever they're called, I don't know, there was an extra spirit that was only on her, and then chased her, and it was so real.
Because it was weird that Lila and Lynn, they're the 2 older ones. So they saw the guy in the bathroom that cut the head, but when Laura and Lexi went in there, they didn't see that. So I'm wondering.
I feel like she can only see real spirits.
And it's because she's the youngest, so she's the most impressionable one.
Ooh, yeah. There you go. That's
Okay.
a good
Thanks
one
for helping
as
me
well.
like talk this out because I was really confused. It's so many of them. So I'm just like, okay, what's happening? Because even when Ben put on the goggles, you notice that the demons, whatever it was, demon, stop moving. But when
Yeah.
they have it on, he's like coming out the Ouija board, and I never played that. I just don't play with that stuff.
Well, I think the next step is to get rid of these glasses, but they're still in the house, so we'll
Right.
see
I
where this
just want
goes.
to say, Kristen is tripping, trying to throw those away, return them. Those are expensive. You can just.
Get your money
You
back.
be throwing away electronics.
I like that. All right, and let's move on to David and Kristen. So we've had a feeling that something's been brewing there, right?
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not feeling it though.
Me neither.
I mean, she is married, but her husband is nowhere to be found.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
They weren't talking every day.
Definitely had to talk about that.
But-
Are they though?
They're not.
But then we see David be like, oh, let's go grab a drink. First of all, are you allowed to drink? Does anyone have an answer to this? If you're a priest, are you allowed to drink?
He's not a priest though.
No,
But he's
in
in
training to
training.
be.
Yeah,
See,
he's
look,
a PIT.
But you have to understand the time. The time is different now. I mean, these priests are, they.
I don't like that.
I don't like
Okay.
that. They shouldn't be.
See, we can't be judgmental.
Okay,
Okay,
well, see, hold
No,
on. Hold on. Now,
We're all wrong now.
let me weigh in on this. Okay, well, real quick, I'm sorry. Distracted. Squirrel! Logan said, is it weird that the board didn't creep me out? Logan in the chat, I agree with you. The board did not creep me out either. I think just because, again, for me, the board was virtualized, it lost all of the stigma that's attached to it and the scariness and all that because it's virtual. So to me now, I'm just looking at a game. And then the fact that when they spelled out the different word, it was heaven. That's not creepy. Okay, cool.
That their dad is-
That their dad is
Yeah,
dead.
like, how do you know about my
you don't
father?
want you to, right. You never want to think like, oh, my dad's dead. But if I were to find out through a Ouija board that one of my parents or loved ones is that they're dead, and I say, well, where are they? They down the street? And you're like, no, they're in heaven. Oh, okay, cool. They with Jesus. I'm good. And no, I'm being funny. Okay, obviously I wouldn't be that cavalier about something like that, but I'm just saying the spooky factor would have been them saying something like hell or like stuck in the cave and he's a rotting corpse or something. So again, that the whole Ouija board segment, to what Logan was saying, did not creep me out. But now,
David and Kristen.
David
Do
and
we
Kristen.
agree with them? Are we on board for this? Because I'll say no.
No.
Yeah,
I need them to just go ahead and just be work co-workers or whatever.
Yeah, don't mix work with pleasure.
But what I was going to say was, and I don't want to make this dark, I know that at least within the Catholic Church and maybe some other religious sects, I'm not saying that right, the SECTS, I know that they're starting to be a little bit more lenient on some of the things that, pastors and priests and stuff can't do. And having said that, I agree with that if you're able to say, hey, look, you can toss back a beer, you can toss back an old fashioned, just don't go crazy with it, cool. If they even relax it to say, look, you're allowed to somehow respectfully date and that prevents other things from happening because those urges are taken care of responsibly, I'm okay with that as well. So I don't have a problem with the PIT
With the priest in training.
taking her to go get a little cocktail as long as he don't pop some pills and start levitating off the bed. Wow,
Then we good.
Then we good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either if it's not like against the rules.
I just feel like from what we've seen, he's been experiencing some temptation.
Mm-hmm.
I think with a few drinks in, hanging out with a female is gonna put him over the edge.
Yeah, he's playing with fire. Why is he doing this to himself?
You're playing with fire and you're gonna get burned. I'm calling it.
With a married woman.
Married woman.
It's a show. They
She's a widow,
have
Haley.
they have to add
So
that.
what?
They have to add some
know
sort
that,
of
though.
love in there or some
Well,
sort
then that brings us to Kristens Husband.
Yes.
So he's apparently in heaven. Do we believe the Ouija board?
No.
I don't believe it either. I think they're
No.
trying to get into the little girl's head.
Yeah, but can I just mention that Lynn and Lexi asked the question that I want to know, like where's our dad? He should be here. We've been saying that from episode 1. Where is he? It's episode 4. We have not seen this man.
And Kristen says he's out making money for us, and he sends a sorry ass check. Do you remember the check was like $800, $500, something like that?
Can you imagine
What are you
their
gonna do?
grocery bill every month?
Okay,
four
but hold on,
girls?
wait. See, as the only
They're
man.
in private school.
Speak up for yourself.
Okay. What now is he? Was that actually really explained? Is he a tour guide?
He's a mountain climber.
He's a mountain climber, and he takes people on expeditions.
And she used to be as well with him. But
Yeah.
then she's like, I had kids and I had to settle my life down, which is what the man should have done, if you ask me.
Seriously.
So I can agree with you. Okay, I'm not disagreeing. However, let's not look a check in the mouth. A check is a damn check. If the man only made $500, $800 and he sent it to her, let's not look it in the mouth. Just make it do what
They
it
have
do.
You on this
kids.
one. But I can't.
You're missing out on your little girls growing up.
Right.
You're not supporting your wife. And you're just somewhere completely different doing Lord knows what. Are you really mountain climbing?
Also,
Right, and that's what I want to really talk about.
He's
Where
not.
is he at?
He's not talking to them every day.
We haven't heard. Have we even
We
seen
haven't
the
heard his
message?
voice.
Which is
they sent him a message.
I don't
and,
agree with this.
Yeah, they sent him a message and he didn't answer. Of course, because he probably climbing the mountain.
Okay.
What?
Now
Is
we've also heard, or at least, come on, we've heard this. We've heard where you might have a family member in jail or something of the sort, and because you don't want to explain that to the child, you're like, he's just at work away, or he's on a ship, or he's this, or he's that. So maybe that's what for this family. Him not being there, he's in Mount Everest. Maybe
would
he
make
could have
sense.
ran off with another woman.
Oh,
like
hell
there could
no.
be a myriad of different things that could have really happened to him. I don't think he's dead,
Yeah, me either.
but he definitely is low key a deadbeat. I agree. I'm just saying,
High-key a deadbeat.
at least
getting a
he's
check.
sending a check. It might not be a big check, but it's still a check.
Look.
I think it depends on what deadbeat means to you. And
Yeah,
what
'cause-
that means.
Well, I think there's different levels to being a deadbeat.
Well, it was really hard seeing her at the end when the little girls mentioned him in the bed, and then she steps aside and breaks down. I feel like you must need your partner.
Yeah.
With that many children, and obviously the little girls miss him too. So
But I thought she broke down because I think she was thinking about Eric and how the parents killed him. That's what
Oh,
I
was
took.
that it?
That's what I
No,
took.
see,
I had a completely different-
I'm
Yeah,
with
wait,
Carlo
wait,
on this
wait,
one.
wait.
I
What
thought
were
it
you
was. I
thinking?
thought it was because of
husband.
the absence of her
Oh,
husband.
I didn't think about him at all.
I didn't either.
live chat, let us know.
Yeah,
Let us
what,
know
what, what do you
think.
Talk
guys
to
think?
us.
She's surrounded with her children, and then she realized a child has died.
Well,
Yeah.
it could be one or the
No,
other.
it could be.
It
It
could
could
be.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I took from that. I mean, because I think her even as a mother, just knowing that, which I get it, it's difficult. If your child tried to kill one of your other kids, it's like, what do you do in that situation? I personally would try to kill mine, but
Damn.
Wait,
I said I wouldn't. I
Oh,
wouldn't.
oh,
No,
I thought you said you would.
no,
Dang,
no,
bold
I
to
wouldn't.
say.
Look,
was like, do you have any kids?
I ain't about that life. I ain't no killer.
But don't push her.
But don't push me.
Hey,
No, go ahead, Carla.
I want to go back to that. What did we think about that? Do we think that was the right move for the little boy or for the family?
Hell no.
No.
They should just gone
Sorry
with
for my
exorcism,
language.
I think.
okay.
What do you think?
Let's do it. Let's go. Chaos time. Okay, so I agree to a certain extent. Yes, killing him was extreme. That's on the very extreme end of the spectrum of things you can do to keep him calm and from hurting the other kids. However, if you are in a position, and we don't really know what actually happened, and we're not going to know unless they bring it up in a later episode. If you're in a position where you have one child that is wilding the F out, and he is trying to harm your smaller children or just your kids or whoever, and you don't have any other way to stop him, and it's like, if I don't react right now and do something, they're going to get hurt. Depending on what happened, I could see it. I'm not saying it's right, but I could see it. If you've got to take, do you want to lose 2 or 3 kids or one? You don't want to lose any, but if one of them is a threat, That's like at the end of the day, if I wake up and say my daughter's, running around trying to, stab me and whoever else in the house, say we got a whole house full of people and she's trying, whatever. If I gotta take my daughter down, I gotta take my daughter down. I cannot I'm just saying. If that's what it comes to, I'm just saying, and I love both my girls, but if it comes to a situation, like survival is key, and I'm not gonna say, okay, just take me. No, like if you have to, if it comes down to them trying to harm multiple people in your household, and you've got to stop them from harming everyone else, and whatever your method is can possibly end up in them being dead.
He said what he said.
I said what I said. I'm just saying.
Said.
So, and again, this is something that, at the end of The Good Son, it comes down to one of those things where they kind of have to pick and choose. So I don't necessarily agree that it should have went that extreme, because they really should have nipped that in the butt a long time ago and had that boy in the treatment center when he wilding out trying to drown his sister and biting and putting in, talking about, I want you to feel the liquid bleach and all that. Like, my man was wilding out. Yes, I know. So
all right.
I definitely think that that was extreme. I thought it was kind of semi-smooth the way she kind of handled it. Like, oh, he ran away. But then you could see that she felt the guilt when, she's like, look, I love all my kids equally, but
she had to do what she had to do.
I'm happy I'm on this side of the table.
All right. Well, let's get into our special segment. We have demonic news for all of you.
We do. All right. So, I ain't got no music. That's cool. All right. Thanks, J-Lo. So, this is a little creepy to me. So there's this thing called, if you go to liquiddeath.com, thanks, she has it up, J-Lo has it up for you guys. It's a canned mountain drink that has been officially cursed by a real witch doctor. Ooh. So it's supposed to it's supposed to like make you a magnet for demons, and if you drink it, you can fill yourself with unholy spirits.
Absolutely.
You can actually really buy this on liquiddeath.com. Click I'm over 18 and see all the cool weird stuff. You can really buy it. It's insane. They even have merchandise. They have a reverse spell. They have hats. They have t-shirts. It's pretty freaking crazy. And yeah.
It's crazy what you can find on the internet. Absolutely
seriously.
not.
I'm like, I guess this is perfect for Halloween, but I didn't know this was a real thing.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's get into some news and gossip.
Yes. So this week is just very simple, guys. But so Evil just became the darkest show on network TV.
Yeah, wow. Man. Yeah. Why you think your boy's here?
I'm very happy. This episode was my favorite.
Seriously,
I laughed maybe the whole time though.
Next week's episode looks even worse in the best way possible.
I'm so excited.
Definitely, me too. All right, everyone. Well, let's do some quick predictions. What do we think is going to happen next week? Shantira?
Okay, so I mean, obviously we kind of got a little tease, but I'd already kind of said, I think after each episode we're going to get more to see actually like people who are actually possessed. And I really believe this time we're actually going to see somebody who's possessed, has a demon inside of them, without being killed.
We'll have to wait and see, I guess. I don't know. I'm scared. I don't want to see real possession. I do when I don't.
I do when it's right.
I'll be watching with like my eyes kind of covered. What about you, Chaos?
All right. Let's see. I think, like kind of similar to what you said, they kind of flirted and teased the idea of a possible possession, whereas next week we're going to see a full-on possession. I like how they threw in the element, though, of, there being a possibility with, a possible issue with the pipes, the corrosion in the pipes, and that affecting the drinking water, which in turn can affect your mental stability. I like how they throw these things in there, so I would be curious to see what they're going to do next week. To actually kind of say like, well, this could be why she's foaming at the mouth and her head's turning around and she's projectile vomiting. So let's see. But it looks good though.
Definitely. What about you, Haley?
I think we're going to see more on the sister. I think her name is like Selma.
Laura?
Yeah, Laura. Sorry. I don't know why.
I don't even know. Yeah, I'm just going to let that one go.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I want to see more of her. I think she's so interesting and funny.
I think next week that the Ouija board thing is going to continue. I think those goggles are still going to be around. And I think some sort of demonic presence is coming out came out through the Ouija board is going to continue to follow the girls through the season finale.
That's a good prediction.
That is a good prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, Carla.
I like yours.
See, what Carla's not really telling us is that she actually is on the set. She be in the writer's room, so she actually knows. She's just like, I think, and the next week is just going to happen.
Well, we'll have to wait and see till next week. But for now, where can everyone find you, Shantiera?
Find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shantiera.
I don't have social network. I'm off the grid. No, I'm joking. You can find me on Twitter, Kaos J, Kaosj, and you can find me on Instagram, Kaos_Jones.
You can find me everywhere at Haley Matthews.
And you can find me on Instagram at Carla Alcantara and Twitter at Carla_C. Till next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.